It's a delight to be on the stage with you all. Very good afternoon to you. I will start with this question that's likely to intrigue most of you, where I'm saying why marketers must stop reporting. Okay, sounds bizarre. Okay, if you're not going to report, where are you going to get your information from and where are you going to get your insights from? Let me demystify this for you. For some context, DViO Digital is a marketing and technology company that I started back in 2011. So we grew quickly. We grew to become one of the largest independent marketing and technology companies working in the areas of brand, web tech, and growth marketing. Now we expanded globally, became one of the, perhaps arguably the only independent marketing company to have a multi-country presence. So a presence in over 6 countries with revenues from international markets that exceed more than 50%. Now, as we were scaling this company, we were working with brands across retail, healthcare, e-com, sports, entertainment, and a lot of digital-first businesses, right? And while we were working with them on their top funnel approach, a lot of our work was in the mid funnel and the bottom funnel. And as we were working to scale these organizations with leads, app downloads, and customer acquisitions, we saw a growing challenge, okay? And especially, I mean, this was a challenge in our global markets, but more so in India. May I sort of get a show of hands in terms of people who are directly engaged in some kind of marketing for their organizations over here? Okay, all right, super. Now, you will resonate with what I say when I say that one of our biggest challenges is that you're working with, let's say, a Google, to Google, Meta, affiliates, LinkedIn, TikTok in case of some of the international markets, influencers, and then when you're activating all of these channels for your lead gen, for your customer acquisition, what are you doing when it comes to reporting, right? So you are natively reporting. So Google has its own native dashboard, Meta has its own native dashboard, and when you're activating all of these channels together, you do not fully understand, and as many data analysts as you would have on your team, you do not fully understand what is the correlational, causal understanding of activating these multiple channels on your bottom funnel, on your sales, okay? So this was one of our biggest challenges, and we worked with multiple data analysts within our organization because what we wanted to do is save money for our clients, right? We wanted to get the best bang for our buck. And as we sort of worked with this, we realized that there is a sore need for the data to be unified in one place where we can actually make sense of it, right? And think about it, like some of the marketers who raise their hand, if you went up and you reported to, let us say, your CEO, you are likely to report on CPM, CTR, which makes no sense to your CEO, right? So different people within different organizations, all they want to know in the organization, if it's the CEO, they're going to say, what have you spent and what is the sales that you have got, right? And then when you go and say CPM, CTR, you lose the audience over there. So these were some of the sort of glaring issues that we had, and we said, let's just go back and do some thinking. Those of you know DViO and have engaged with us in some capacity would also know that we're very well known for actually building an incubator ecosystem internationally, which means that we incubated ad tech and marketing tech companies over the last 10 years, we've sort of helped these companies, these startups, these platforms. We've allowed them to go into international markets with our clients, and we've sort of integrated their services with our clients. And because we had access to some fantastic talent, right, with all the CEOs of these incubating companies, we said we need to find a solution to this, and we said let's go back to some first principle thinking. And we said, what is it that we want? We want data to be unified in one place, and we don't have to work with powered BI dashboards the way we worked in the past, because we are really working in an AI native environment right now. So we have to be able to reimagine how we look at data, right? We need insights, and we need them quick, and we need to take to decision very, very quickly. So those were some of our asks, and then we said, more importantly, when the data is unified, should we not be able to chat with our data the way we chat with ChatGPT, right? We should I mean, it's our data, and we need to get intelligence very quickly. So we really made a list of things that we need, and then the kind of questions we wanted to actually ask our data is, show me my top 20 performing campaigns, for example, right? What if I move 30% of my budget from Google to Instagram? Yeah? Which audience segment is showing me the highest ROAS? Which creatives can be reused, let's say, on YouTube Shorts because it's doing very well on Instagram? Which channels drive the highest profit, not just the lowest CPC? That's what a CEO is likely to ask. What is the true ROI of our marketing this quarter? If we shift 20% of our budget maybe from one channel to another, what is likely to be the revenue impact? Okay, where are we leaving revenue on the table? Now, these are the kind of questions that we wanted to get answered. Now, we had some of our best minds, and when we actually explored, if something can solve this problem for us off the shelf, right? Are there any platforms or tools that can help us right away? We saw that the few options that were available in the market were largely some of the international companies, like, I don't know if you're familiar with Improvado. I think a whole lot of you guys are in tech, Supermatrix, Funnel.io. They were solving some of these issues, and sometimes at prohibitive cost, and without fully perhaps understanding the complexity of what we require as, as a media ecosystem. And India is a fairly complex media ecosystem. I'm not saying other markets are not, but this one especially is fairly fragmented, and we need to be able to make sense of all of this data. So we said, let's come up with, we built a platform over the last 2 years, launched DViO 1 2 years ago with some brightest minds which were working on solving this problem, like this almost like $1 billion data problem. And we said day one with DViO 1, which means that if you have worked with data in the marketing ecosystems, you would know that it takes you months to build Power BI dashboards, right? And even more time before you can actually mine insights from it. And with DViO 1, we said we're going to be able to do it on day one. Now let me show you how we're doing it. We built connectors, okay? So which are the channels that you're likely to advertise on? You have Google, you have Meta, you have your LinkedIn, and then you have your CRMs and CDPs, which are also working along with you. So we said we'll bring all of those connectors at a simple click in a way that you can populate all of this content in one place. Now once that happens, all the data is unified, the data starts to come together, and you have one comprehensive dashboard where you're able to see your Google campaigns, your Meta campaigns, your affiliates, your sales data from your CRM, like maybe with Salesforce or HubSpot or whatever it might be, and all of that is in one place. Now, as this data comes into one place, you are going to be able to chat with your own data. Now, think about this. I'm asking, identify the bottom 20% of the campaigns and give me a campaign level ROAS analysis, right? So it's giving me a fairly comprehensive input real time based on all the connectors that I've used at a click of a button. What is my opportunity cost? Right? What are the key insights that I need to work with? You could have saved 10% of your total media spend by pausing the worst 15 campaigns with minimal impact to the revenue. Right? And then I'm saying simulate reallocating the budget to my top 10 performing campaigns, and then the simulation works in such a way that you have the top 10 performing campaigns that it's identified, and it's proposed the reallocation plan in a predictive way, and then it's giving you a projected impact summary on your bottom line, and finally says 85% confidence interval, and the key insight says 0 additional spend required, diminishing returns accounted for, paid search is your gold mine, and what are the quick wins, immediate steps that you need to take. And all of this is happening in less than probably 5 minutes, right? So this is the power, and then the CMO decision summary. It's saying that you could have saved so much money and not lost out on any revenue, and if at all, you could have scaled this revenue. Now, this is possible because all of that data is in one place, and we are allowing you to chat with your own data, and typically what tens and hundreds of data analysts would do, and the more complex the data, the better it is for AI, right? Which would otherwise not be the scenario when you're working with analysts and you're doing manual work with this. So we've sort of reimagined data analysis and powering it with AI in the context of DViO 1. right? And then there's a whole lot of other things that you can do with it, which is you can do your creative analysis with it. You can map your competition. You can just map your competitors into the platform, and then you're going to be able to see competitive insights. What campaigns are they running right now? How are their campaigns performing? Which are the best creatives that are running for you? Which are the best creatives that are running for your competition? Also, creative recommendations, helping you build content calendars based on the inputs that you're getting from the tool. And so therefore, in summary, what we're saying is skip the data grunt work and keep the insights, right? It's made for marketers with data science handled behind the scenes. And as we're speaking about all this, obviously data compliance is key for us, right? And therefore, it's privacy first, no personal identification, aggregated insights only, and we're working with Snowflake residency in the business of your jurisdiction, right? So therefore, the data doesn't rest anywhere else but in your own jurisdiction. And if your question is, can it sit on top of my CDPs and CRMs? Yes, that's the whole idea. It sits on top of your CDPs and CRMs. It's one operational layer for marketing data, working across cross-channel reporting, competitor intelligence, and all stakeholder alignment in one place, right? So the impact that we're seeing is time to insight is probably better by 60 to 80%, and in more cases than not 80%. Operational hours saved in data analysis is probably more than 40%, and the media efficiency, the hard numbers that we are seeing is you're able to build efficiency in your media spends by upwards of 25%, right? And that said, just to give you guys a sense of what our future looks like, while we started off as an agency, we had so much of vertical understanding about what the market requires. We're now building a bunch of horizontal and vertical solutions as product and solutions. And this is a business that is, the way I look at it, is products for the globe. Yeah, so India now needs to really rise up in terms of the kind of SaaS platforms that we build and take it to the world and not just work with products that are coming from outside. And that's sort of the vision that I'm driving. And for those of you who would like to know more, that's my colleague Vivek over there. Feel free to reach out to him if you have any questions. It has been an honor and pleasure to present to you all. Thank you so much. Thank you.